The great wild forests of the American West are mostly gone now, and this 30-year deforestation graphic of Southern Oregon is fairly typical of their plight. Only 4% of these wild forests remain. Clear cuts dominate the mountains where these ancient conifer forests once thrived. The government has now built enough logging roads on public lands to circle the earth 17 times. On the Pacific coast from the Mexican to Canadian borders, all the great unprotected tracts of wilderness have been destroyed and replaced by government tree farms. There remains only one great wilderness to be converted: the Siskiyou Wild Rivers area of southwestern Oregon, an area considered a sacred place of peace and harmony in a world of commercially exploited chaos. This great wilderness is the last of its kind in the emerging history of man's consumptive dominance of all life upon the earth.
I live in this valley. I am the oldest living descendant of the Tequilma Indians. And when they lived here over 20,000 years, they were good caretakers of this land. They did things in moderation. They did things teaching reciprocity, how to give back. The old people of this land, when they lived here, the elders, the ladies, they lit the fires. They believed in the cool burnings. And the fire was really one of the best components of a healthy forest. They knew that fire added nutrients to the soil. They knew that it brought back good browse and that trees that need to be propagated by fire. We need to stand up right here in this county and be that voice and stop some of the destruction that's going on, so our 7 generations will be able to see what we see here today.
We're here in southwest Oregon in a place that we call Siskiyou Wild Rivers. And this area almost made National Monument designation back in the year 2000. The Clinton administration was very close to recognizing the extraordinary biodiversity of the Siskiyou Wild Rivers area as a national monument. Instead, it didn't happen, and we got a forest fire in 2002, and now this area is the hotspot for a lot of controversy about what to do with a landscape that's recovering from fire. And what we're going to see today are a number of places that really reflect the extraordinary biodiversity of the Siskiyou Wild Rivers area. We'll be looking at some very unique plant communities. You know, I kind of comically refer to the Darlingtonia or cobra lily as nature's living roach motel. And the reason for that is when insects crawl into here, they don't come out. And you could see that the head, the so-called head of this plant, has these very attractive appendages that come off to the sides. And this is attractive if you're an insect. You might find this a good place to land. And as the insects or bugs land on these appendages, they just get curious and they start to crawl up on the inside of the head, which is a very translucent top of the plant. Light shines through and it looks like a really safe environment. So the insects come up into the translucent head and they continue their curiosity and they move down the long slender tube of the plant. Inside this long slender tube are a series of very minute hairs, and those hairs run only one direction. So they continue to work their way down this long, slender tube. They get to the base, and there's a pool of digestive enzymes that are down at the base of the plant that begin to suck the nitrogen out of the chitinous exoskeleton of the insects, and therefore this plant, which is living on a nitrogen deficient soil, is getting its nitrogen by literally sucking it out of the insects, which is why I playfully refer to it as nature's living roach motel. You know, the Illinois River is really my favorite place in all of the Siskiyou Wild Rivers area. In so many ways, this river mirrors the wild and scenic qualities of the entire region. You just have to marvel at how strikingly clear and beautiful the emerald green waters are. And the rivers are also a great place for anglers to fish because the conditions are among the best for wild salmon anywhere on the Pacific coast. The salmon and steelhead runs are in really good shape because this is the wildest and most unroaded country remaining on the Pacific coast from the Canadian to the Mexican border. Everywhere else along the way has been logged, roaded, and logged again. This really is the final frontier for the Pacific coastal region. And it's unfortunate that the Forest Service has proposed a massive logging project right up against the boundaries of the wild and scenic rivers and within the watersheds of these magnificent places. And that's why we've identified this area as among the most endangered in the nation. So instead of clear emerald green waters running through this system, the rivers are now threatened by salmon choking sediment from logging on steep slopes in the surroundings. Once this area is logged, not only will this symbolize the passing of the Pacific coastal frontier, but future generations will miss an opportunity to enjoy a truly wild and spectacular place. This area should be a national monument, not a sacrificial zone for 2x4 production. You know, we've got a really good panoramic view of the Siskiyou Wild Rivers area. And again, you know, this place started out in the year 2000. The conservation community was very close to protecting this pristine, remote landscape as a national monument. And unfortunately, it did not get that designation, but it clearly is one of the most remote places left in all of Western Oregon. And we have the largest complex of unprotected roadless areas anywhere along the Pacific coast from the Canadian to the Mexican border. You can see this landscape is really remote. There aren't any roads, no evidence of logging, roadless areas, very wild and scenic stretches of rivers. You put it all together and you've got one of the most important biologically rich landscapes in the American West. Back in the summer of 2002, a fire came through this area. That fire was known as the Biscuit Fire. And the fire occurred over approximately a 500,000 acre landscape. It's very difficult to describe the effects of this fire because it wasn't one catastrophic burn that took out all the vegetation across the 500,000 acres as some people have described it. But instead what has happened here is when the Biscuit Fire came through, it burned in a very spotted way, and it left this kind of mosaic of heavily burned and torched areas interspersed with areas of the fire that were not even touched. So within that 500,000 acre perimeter, nearly 60% of the land was unaffected by the fire. Some people describe this place as a moonscape, thinking that it was catastrophically burned across the 500,000 acres of the burned perimeter, but that clearly is wrong. And this area, again, roughly 60% was unaffected by the burn that came through this place. The fire tended to burn hotter in the plantations than it did in natural forest, but by and large, this was a very healthy fire. You're going to have a very healthy and a very productive landscape for wildlife as this forest recovers from the Biscuit Fire of 2002. It is certainly not a moonscape. I've been up here counting the rings of big old trees like this, And my estimate is that a tree like this was probably 300 to 400 years old before it was cut down. And you know, this is really the oldest trees that we have in the forest up here. They're the survivors of repeat fire that have come through the Siskiyous. You can see the numerous fire scars that have influenced this tree over time. They have a real important function to play in the recovery of the forest because they do a lot of things even when they're dead. These trees, when they're standing, dead trees, they cast a shadow, and that shadow provides cooler soil temperatures for the seedlings to grow in cool soils. And I've been out here measuring soil temperatures with a soil probe, and what we found is that alongside these big trees that cast those shadows, the soil temperatures can be as cool as 5 degrees or so cooler than areas that have been logged and had their trees removed. That's really important for a little seedling, a conifer seedling that's trying to reestablish itself. It doesn't want to be cooked in the heat of the sun, and these big old trees will cast that shadow. And then there are just hundreds of species that make use of these big old trees, lots of different wildlife. A lot of those species eat destructive insects, and by having these big trees in place, you have the habitat for a lot of wildlife to perform their checks and balances on destructive insects. And eventually these trees are going to fall over, and some of them are going to work their way into the creeks, and they're going to provide really good spawning habitat, some cover logs for salmon. All right, we're looking at this big dead tree, which is a legacy tree that is really important for the recovery of the forest. And this is exactly what the Forest Service wants to log. The Forest Service has proposed one of the largest timber sales in the nation's history in response to the Biscuit. So we have a forest that's recovering from fire, and what the Forest Service wants to do is to come in and log most of these big trees, the big legacy components that are important to the recovery of the forest. And they're talking about taking as much as 372 million board feet of timber, which would be the equivalent of 70,000 logging trucks fully loaded, removing really ecologically valuable trees like this, the legacy trees, from the forest. 50% of the volume would come from areas that were previously set aside for their old growth protection, old growth reserves, because they have legacy trees like this. 30% of the volume would come from roadless areas, and especially the endangered roadless areas of the Siskiyou Wild Rivers would be in trouble from these kinds of logging activities, which take out the legacy components. And we think that this is the most destructive timber sale that we have seen on public lands in recent memory. And really the Forest Service is under pressure from the timber industry to promote the largest timber sale on public lands in recent times.
Service is rushing to log old growth reserves up at Babyfoot Lake, Fiddler Mountain, and all over the wild Siskiyou before a court can tell us whether that logging is illegal or not.
Fascist!
How's that sound to you guys? They want to fell those trees, rush to fell those trees, because there's no judge on earth who can make logged trees stand up again. And that's their goal. That's why they're on Fiddler Mountain today, planning these logging sales, rushing to log before a court can judge. And
what's about to happen up in this area here is going to strike probably the most devastating blow to our economy of any single incident in the history of this valley. This is the T.J. Howe Botanical Drive, the most botanically diverse landscapes in the country. It's in our backyard what is going to happen to us. If you go up there and look at the tree farms that are up there, the ones that were put up there, they are 25-year-old trees that barely as tall as me. And we are trading that for $1 million industry that we can have every single year here if that was preserved. Absolutely absurd that they are driving us down into the ground economically for the next century. When it is gone and they turn that into a tree farm and they start managing that up there to destroy the native plants that make this an internationally significant story, will be the day that we are locked in for the next century or more of economic ruin in this valley. This is our story, and we're about to lose that story.
Out in the woods, up on hops and horn, you know that tree farm's too big, and they ain't gonna take no more. Well, then came a fire. Things were mighty dire. All the Freddies pushing roads.
My name's Monty Larson. I'm from Phoenix, Oregon. I really have a problem with logging in late successional reserves, especially on the boundary of the Kalmiopsis wilderness. You know, these are areas that are designated to be set aside under the Northwest Forest Plan. They should not be logged. They were never intended to be logged under the Northwest Forest Plan. And that they're trying to log this area, I think, is an awful precedent to set, especially after a fire.
Hi, I'm Terry Davis, and I'm here because I have decided that it's time to set aside a lot of time to protect the forest. And it's where a lot of the energy is today, where people find the most excitement and the most meaning in their life. And so we're glad to be together with some incredible people.
It's a broad umbrella here, but we have a common cause, and that is to rein in the Forest Service, get them under control, because right now they're not listening to us. This agenda from DC is turning this agency into a rogue agency. It's not listening to the public anymore.
Take all your frustration, take all your anger, take all your hopes, take all your dreams, and put them into one howl. So on three, I want them to hear us all the way to the logging pit. You ready? 1, 2, 3.
We are gathered at a public encampment at the Green Bridge on the Illinois River because it's Sunday, and tomorrow on Monday the timber sale behind us, the Fiddler Timber Sale, faces imminent logging. Fiddler Timber Sale is an old growth reserve set aside for its characteristics as a late successional forest that is meant to be one of the few places where logging is not allowed. And what's at stake is that tomorrow Silver Creek Timber Company is set to roll and begin commercial logging within designated old growth reserve for the first time since the concept was created. And so we are here at a public encampment to voice our opposition to this project. We're being supported by the local community in an incredible outpouring of support, and we are making sure that we're going to put a national spotlight on this issue if the Forest Service is going to try to get away with something that the public has expressed vehemently they are overwhelmingly opposed to. This is the largest logging project in the modern history of the Forest Service, and the American public has expressed many times over how opposed they are to continued logging of old growth on public lands. And so we just need to get the word out to the masses that this is happening. And you know, the Bush Forest Service is selling the American people a lie, and they're telling us that this timber sale is going to benefit local communities. They're telling us that it's going to restore this post-fire landscape somehow. Fact of the matter is, the future economic potential in these surrounding towns is in recreation, is in ecotourism, and on top of that, these forests are regenerating just fine. You don't need a PhD in fire ecology to go and stand in the landscape and see a lush, beautiful, regenerating forest in front of you. And if they come in with their heavy equipment, they're going to create soil erosion, they're going to introduce non-native species, they're going to create soil compaction, and they're going to remove the nutrient base that's stored in those burned trees for the future regeneration of this forest. So economically, it doesn't make sense. They're using taxpayer money to subsidize private companies to destroy public land, and then they're taking those trees and they're shipping them overseas. So everybody gets burned in this equation except for some politicians who are getting money from timber companies and a few timber company owners. And it's not even the local people who work for those timber companies. The specter that we're facing right now is the tragic possibility that they could get in here and destroy these forests, and then we could win a few weeks later in court. And we have expressed ourselves in every legal avenue available to us, and now at this point there's nothing except for us standing in between imminent logging. And so if there was ever a prescription when people power was needed, when civil disobedience was called for, this is it. And we have a narrow window of legal limbo here for these next 2 weeks, that if we keep them out of these woods, we're likely to be vindicated by the courts. What the next stage here is they're going to come for the roadless areas. When they come for the roadless areas, we're going to have big guns at our back. The governor of Oregon may come out to try to stop it. Certainly the Wilderness Society and the big national groups will be on our side. But right now, starting tomorrow, what's threatened are these old growth reserves. And it is us and our regional networks and our local communities and our national networks who are the ones who stand in the way of protecting these old growth reserves. So one way or another, this is a historic moment in a decades-long campaign, and that is going to set precedent for future public lands management for decades to come. So if we keep them out, that sets a precedent. If they're allowed in, that's the precedent that gets set. So.
And I think it's wrong. I said, it's our taxpayers' money. We got a right to be a voice, and I'm here today to be a voice for the voiceless. It's our water, our air, doesn't have a voice. And so I'm here today to try to stop that spiritual blindness, because that's what I call it, spiritual blindness. They don't really want to believe what they're doing is really a wrong thing. And we need to fight to try to salvage them, be their voice, stop this, what they're trying to do.
And so, the petitions have been submitted, the letters written, and the phone calls made. But the voices of reason are drowned out by the relentless roar of the engines of commerce, fueled by the love of money. And the agents of destruction are now at the gates of this ancient forest.
We've got 3 law enforcement and 3 logging vehicles all heading right up on here.
We're just talking nice to people today. I know. Okay. We're trying to really do it.
Maybe you could turn your engine off, officer.
So, what we're doing out of the way, do not block the bridge. And if you do, you will be interfering with an agricultural operation, and the rest will pursue.
Save Hitler Mountain! Save Hitler Mountain!
You must clear the roadway now.
Save Hitler Mountain!
Failure to disperse will result in arrest.
Save Hitler Mountain! Save Hitler Mountain! Save Hitler Mountain! Save Hitler Mountain!
God shed His grace on thee, and crown thy good with brotherhood from sea to shining sea. Oh, beautiful, share.
Well, the first day I got up here was like a Sunday, and the day after was a Monday when we had one of the first actions at the Green Bridge. And there was a group of people that greeted the loggers that were escorted by Forest Service law enforcement, and they kind of stalled them for a little bit, and there was some arrests. Like the 72-year-old woman got arrested, and some 70-year-old men. But the crew of Forest Service and loggers crossed over the Green Bridge, and further up the road they met with a truck that had been broken down, and there were some people locked down inside of it and underneath it.
Yeah, I'm Pax, and I'd like to give you a statement, but my arm is in a T that is about 3 feet into the ground, cemented in there.
I happen to be a lover of the forest, and I am sick and tired of this government and their full tilt assault against the environment. They've taken the trees and taken the trees and taken the trees, and now they're taking them illegally, and these trees belong to the people, and 95% of the people in this country do not want them cut, and half of the country thinks they're protected in the first place because of the bogus lies coming out of Washington.
And I wasn't aware of that when I got up there. You know, they were clearing the scene, and they gave the order to disperse, and I had just gotten there and I didn't know what to do, and I felt like something had to be done, and I just kind of sat down with some other peoples in solidarity with those who locked down in defiance and support. So we went to jail and got out the next day on our own recognizance.
Our concerns are you're already a lawless logger. You've already gone into the wilderness area and cut trees illegally. What do you have to say about that?
Oops! I accidentally cut trees in the wilderness boundary. Sorry! Won't do that again.
Oh, you guys are hilarious. Do you have children?
Yeah, we try to.
What does that have to do with it? Wouldn't it be nice to show them some old growth? When they're your age? My daughter will be logging.
Hey John, I'm wondering, is the investigation finished about the illegal logging into the wilderness areas?
All you have to do is contact the Forest Service. They'll give you all the information you need.
Well, actually, John, somebody did check with the Forest Service, and that would be Lisa at the Siskiyou Project. Through a Freedom of Information Act request, she obtained documents pertaining to your illegal logging operations. To summarize, on July 2, 2004, all timber felling operations by John West and Silver Creek were suspended until further notice. Breach B9.3. Under what occurred, several trees were cut in the wilderness along Bald Mountain Road after being instructed to stay away from this area until the SA could identify the boundary. So somebody did check, John, and you were a bad boy. Naughty, naughty,
Can you
naughty,
give us
naughty.
a little background on Silver Creek?
Silver Creek is a tributary to the lower Illinois River, located in southwestern Oregon. It flows through the North Kalmiopsis roadless area, and it's a beautiful stream that has a wilderness character and a large population of winter steelhead that spawn in that creek. It's also, at the top end of it, has a 100-foot spectacular 100-foot bedrock waterfall that's gotten a lot of visitors' attention over the last years. My relationship to Silver Creek is, for the last 10 years, I've been doing habitat assessments on the creek and winter steelhead spawning surveys on the creek. So I know where the winter steelhead spawn, and I know how many of them spawn in the creek. So it's really a gem to southwestern Oregon and an integral part of the Kalmiopsis roadless wilderness area.
Is there a connection between this Silver Creek and Silver Creek Logging Company?
Yes, the connection is that John West purchased the private land that was a patented mining claim in the headwaters of Silver Creek when the original owner and the Forest Service couldn't come to terms on the transfer of property. There's a road that runs parallel to Silver Creek that takes the public to Silver Falls. After the 2002 Biscuit Fire swept through the landscape, John West cut the trees on that private property and then gated the road, preventing the public access to Silver Creek Falls in the headwaters of Silver Creek. And I know this because I spoke with John West trying to obtain permission so that we could conduct our spawning survey on Silver Creek, and he denied us permission, hoping that enough people would complain to the Forest Service so that they would pay him his $750,000 easement that he was requesting from the Forest Service. Nobody knows Silver Creek like I do. I've been down 10 times. I know where the steelhead spawn. I know where the calochortus bloom. I know where the dippers nest. I know where the best drinking water is. And for John West to name his logging company after this wild stream in the Siskiyou Mountains is offensive to me.
Arrest John West! Arrest John West! Arrest John West! Arrest John West! Arrest John West!
And so, March 7th, 2005, began the systematic destruction of this naturally recovering ancient forest, to be replaced by yet one more government tree farm. As the big dead trees crashed to the forest floor, crushing the new growth which was coming in to replace the old, the fragile soils are disrupted, paving the way for erosion runoff into the streams with the arrival of the next rains. The entire system of the big dead trees protecting the new and supplying the organic nutrient base for the recovery of this forest is carried away on Silver Creek Logging Company trucks, going to the giant timber companies or to overseas markets. Along the boundary, a single sad tree sitter keeps a lonely vigil to pay tribute to the passing of the natural forest on Fiddler Mountain.
A lot of people will tell you that this is going to a small business known as Silver Creek Timber Company. But in fact, they're just a front for big timber companies that are afraid to show their faces around a controversial timber sale like the Biscuit. So the unit is actually logged, this tree was actually logged by Columbia Helicopters, a Portland-based company that's one of the biggest logging companies in the world. And this RF painted on the side of this fallen log right here stands for Roseburg Forest Products. That's the mill it's going to, one of the biggest destroyers of old growth on public lands in the entire West. Two big timber companies logging our public lands so that millionaires can get more millions under the guise of a small business.
How'd they treat you in there?
Not too great. They were kind of mean. I don't know. They were very mean-spirited. I guess they weren't horribly violent to me as compared to him. They dislocated his shoulder, separated his shoulder.
Separated. What happened?
I got stuffed backwards and upside down in the paddy wagon. Due to the handcuffs I might have, or the zip ties that were too tight, I might have nerve damage in my hands as well as separated shoulders.
Yes, I was arrested.
You know, it's not fun being in jail. It's not, the food sucks, the people suck, but honestly, it's worth it because
yes, it is.
It's worse for these forests to fall than for me to spend a day, a week, a month, a year in this jail. It's more important for us to do what we're doing than for my freedom. You know, it's worth putting yourself on the line for this, and I think everyone should go back right now, honestly.
I think the treatment of the criminals that are in the forest, cutting the forest where the legality is still being questioned, ought to be treated a little more like we were treated and put in jail until their legality. No, I was sitting in the road.
Sitting in the road.
Mm-hmm.
Right. Welcome to freedom.
Thanks.
What I can't understand is that they did all this planting. But when they planted on top of the mountains, there was no big trees left to hold the moisture for them, so they just died. And then the gophers ate the roots. And the mountains are still bare. All they care about is the money, and not a one of them wants to do anything different. And I think there's got to be a different way, and all of us should stand up and be a voice to that they've got to do a better way about managing our forests.
Okay, we have visual confirmation of vehicles coming down the road. So far, only 1, 2, 3.
Can we get a time check? Over.
Can we? I see 6 trucks so far. They're with a Leo in front.
Need the bridge is up. Just copy that. Over.
We're watching you!
Nothing particularly bad has happened. The Leo finally just cleared the line.
No logging today, fellas.
Sorry, we just closed.
Coming dangerously close. You're on camera. Be aware that you are on camera.
There's people sitting down right beneath the truck. They should not move forward any further.
Hey! Hey! Don't move! putting people's lives at risk. You're on camera.
You're on camera as of right now. Turn off your engine. There's somebody laying under your car.
Please, somebody is laying under your vehicle. You need to laying under your vehicle. Turn off your engine.
Don't want to be a murderer.
Please, sir.
We'll give you a cinnamon roll if you go home.
The engine on the
Coffee and donut.
is not being turned off.
There are folks in front of, behind, and underneath your rig. There is a better way.
Hey sir, I'm just letting you know, obviously I'm sure you're aware that there's someone locked down to the vehicle in front of you, underneath the vehicle. Yeah, so any movement would definitely endanger them.
And y'all are probably getting paid by the hour, so might want to take a break.
Everybody's okay. Things are going great. Good morning, y'all. Repeat after me. It is illegal to log a late successional reserve. I'm sorry that I wanted to log a late successional reserve. I promise that I will never, ever, ever try to log old growth again.
Hey, you guys! Come on, there's a lot of you!
There's been a request.
Morning.
Well?
You're the sheriff though, right? So you can stop the illegal logging.
Well, see, this is what's illegal, not logging.
The guy with the log truck on his shoulder says that this is illegal, not the logging.
Really?
Perhaps he's not aware that Silver Creek Logging Company colluded to get this contract, or that this is a late successional reserve.
How do you spell Rary? Oh, okay. Well, what's your badge number?
You think they're gonna try and kill me like they did those other people?
Hopefully not.
It's possible, I hope not.
Yeah. It'd be kind of sad if you died.
I'm here because I want the mountains and the Siskiyous to become a biscuit natural fire recovery zone. I want to see what happens when coastal wildfire forests are allowed to recover on their own. And that's why I'm down here, because when the trees get cut down, that automatically changes what's going on in the ecosystem. And I understand why the people here are here, but I think the person who bought the sale is wrong. The people who sold it to him are wrong, and the judge refused to let the court case be heard before the logging could begin is wrong. And I'm here to try and right those wrongs.
Gonna make noise to wake the world.
Lately I wake up now remembering what our forefathers said we could become. But now it's so hard not to start believing their American dream has been undone. Was it a lie? Oh, was it a lie? Or is there still a land where the eagle flies? Why do our children always so cry? Was it a lie?
Wow, look how cute that guy is. Getting arrested.
Look how ugly that cop is and won't identify himself!
Arrested, and the next day there was another blockade that greeted the Forest Service and the LEOs. And I was kind of with the group, and then they issued the order to disperse, and the people sitting there like stayed there, and I was kind of hesitant to stay because being released on my own recognizance, if I do anything unlawful, then I get additional charges, and it's just another big hassle. So I was like kind of reluctant to leave, but like I had this pressure on me from the courts, and somebody just hollered out, come on, peoples, we need solidarity. And I just sat down and said, forget about it, And so yeah, we went to jail again, and it was kind of fun.
Business card or your badge number, please. You have to, sir. It's against the law. You are a civil servant. Either way, we've already recorded all of your license plates, so we can get it like that if you are going to take this course of action, but I will file a formal complaint.
No, that's clearly not John West.
What I trying to teach our children. Except be careful with
it's like they're turning that person's wrist really hard. Be careful, hey, be gentle on him.
Hey, stupid!
From the media who's coming up here, let it be known that they have risked many people's lives today, and right now they're planning to drag this truck away with someone locked to it, putting their life and their arms at risk. We are very scared of this, and they will not let us observe this. People's lives!
Anybody across that line will go to jail. You understand that?
You should go to jail. You are risking people's lives right now.
Cross that line.
Using this voice, I believe the Creator gave us this volume, this voice, to be able to speak for the voiceless, and that is all the green upon our Mother Earth, the one-legged, the tree people, I call them. They need our voice. We need to stand out and know what is happening. My old people said, when you take the trees off of the mountain, they're the ones that call the wind and the rain. And when you do that, it causes a domino effect of destruction all the way down that mountain to the rivers and streams. And this is what's happening over here. And we need to preserve some of this. Some of the growth that's growing there needs to be kept in its pristine nature, so that we can have something for our children's children to be able to see it. If we're wanting to walk in beauty, then we need to start protecting it. People need to be a voice to all of this. People that live not only in that area, but who want to be taking care of the forest, who want to be able to speak up and save some of these trees. There's got to be a better way.
From the mountain to the valley, let us all spread the word. Stand for this, your voice. Chance to meet a child walking down that road. He said, now won't you take my hand? Hey, I'm done with you to walk with me. You know it's time to make a stand.
People previously were under the illusion that logging was okay as long as replanting took place. But the fact of the matter is very, very simple. If you want a 500-year-old tree or a 500-year-old snag, you're going to have to wait 500 years. There's no way to reconstruct an ancient forest, a full natural ecology. It's a Humpty Dumpty problem. Once you take the pieces apart, all the king's horses and all the king's men simply can't put it back together again.
Right now we have no legal recourse. The timber companies have all the laws, we have none. So you are a sovereign person, and you make your own law then, because there's no laws that pertain to you. So you get yourself your backbone like you already do. You stand there and defy them because you know you are right.
It feels like a celebration, and that celebratory atmosphere makes it almost easy to forget that the chainsaws are roaring in the hills behind us today. And that, of course, is why we're here. At this point, what has developed is a sustained campaign of nonviolent civil disobedience. That it's an incredibly beautiful thing. I, in my experience as an activist, have never seen this kind of solidarity. We have local people from down the road bringing us firewood. We have people from the communities in the Illinois Valley bringing us dinner every night. We have, forest defenders gathered from across the Pacific Northwest and across the country.
No, 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 no. These hills are not for sale. Yeah, because we fight for the trees, for the trees, for the trees, for the trees now. Cause we will fight for the trees. To be free, to be free, to be free now. Cause we will fight for the trees. Get up, get up, get up now. Cause we will fight for the trees. For the water, for the air, for everyone here, you know. Love takes us higher. My own
have the power. So let's take action now. One thing I want to do is I want to group folks together because we're going to make a phone call to some folks. Senator Ron Wyden is at the top of that list. Senator Ron Wyden, our senior senator here, needs to hear from us. He needs to know that there are people down in the Illinois Valley who don't want their long-term economic health, their fire safety, the wild rivers, the fish that live in those rivers, these communities sacrificed to the for short-term political gain. Where's Ron Wyden? 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 Stop illegal logging! 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 Stop illegal logging!
To be free, to be free, to be free now. 'Cause we will fight for the trees. Get up now. 'Cause we will fight for the trees. For the water, for the air, for everyone here, you know. My only companion is love, love, love takes us higher. My only companion is love, love, love takes us higher. My only companion is love.
It's All Women's Day in Defense of the Biscuit, as the Sisters of the Siskiyous mount their own distinctive direct action on the Green Bridge. At 5 a.m., it's still an hour before daylight. The Green Bridge has been guarded all night and blocked for the last 2 hours as a shield against the potential early arrival of the loggers and law enforcement. Meetings on strategy and tactics have gone on around the campfire much of the night. Always included and constantly reinforced in these discussions are the principles and concepts of passive, non-violent resistance. The destruction that the government has brought upon this ancient ecosystem is about to run head-on into an incredible demonstration of love and peace.
Bye.
I'm here for the 7th generation. I'm here to speak for the trees, the voiceless trees, to say they want to be left alone.
My name is Jem, and I'm here because they're logging old-growth reserve that is supposed to be set aside forever, and nobody should be in there. That's why I'm here.
Hi, I'm Karen, and they should not be cutting these old-growth reserve trees.
Hi, I'm Stacy Fott. I'm here to support the hardworking folks that have been protecting this area for many days now.
Hello, my name is Joan. I'm here for the second time to get arrested because the laws are for the corporations cutting the trees and not for me. So I have to be my own law.
My name is Carrie, and I'm here to help protect these trees, to protect our watersheds, to protect our future, and to just support us as a community and not the corporations just trying to...
Hi, my name is Stacy. I'm here to speak, have a voice for the voiceless, here to save our background, our backyard, our playground for our children. I'm here for this baby that's inside of me that's due in 4 days, to protect it for the children to come and for future generations.
I'm Harriet. I'm here because when my great-grandchildren say, "Why did you let them do this?" I'll say I tried to prevent it.
Hi, my name is Molly, and I am here because these forests are irreplaceable. There are no more old-growth forests to be made. We have to protect what we've got.
Hi, my name is Amanda, and I'm here to be a voice for the trees and support these other brave women.
I'm Nancy, and I'm here because the ancient forest is a really important cause to me, and I really want my grandchildren to be able to look at me and say, yes, she saved the trees for us.
Hi, my name is Ara, and I'm a mother of 2 children, and I'm here for their future. Thank you.
Liam, it's not the right morning to sleep in. It's after 8. But you know, the bridge is still a very exciting place to be. We have literally a woman who's 9 months pregnant out here with her midwife and birthing team. We've got a young woman suspended over the river hanging from the bridge. Elderly woman, a woman Harriet who's 83, a woman who's Dot Fisher-Smith from Ashland who's 72, 76.
Because my conscience told me this was where I needed to be.
I don't know if you know this, but back when the Forest Service issued the environmental impact statement about the Biscuit salvage logging plan, they drew a record 23,000 responses against that plan.
You know, I live in Douglas County. That's the home of Roseburg Forest Products. And the Douglas County Commissioners, where I live, paid $30,000 to some scientists from the timber industry to come up and say that this sale needed to be logged much heavier. Originally, the Forest Service had proposed a much more reasonable logging, about 90 million board feet. But after Douglas County commissioners, who have nothing to do with this area, paid the scientists, the whole process was stopped, and they came out with a sale that was 4 times as big.
Avoid the line.
Might as well give up now.
Don't break the line, please.
Is going to be subject to arrest for interfering with agricultural operation. If you re-enter the crime scene once it's established, you'll be arrested for interfering with judicial administration and any other charges that are appropriate. So I'm asking you once again to go ahead and clear the bridge. We're about to establish a crime scene.
I'd like to go on record for saying the crime scene is farther up the road, officer.
forests need fire.
All the world alive. Without her, we don't survive. So wake up, na 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 na, wake up, people. Hear the call, singing, wake up, na 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 na, wake up, people. Want it all, this disposable society we are living in today. Disposable society, going to throw itself away. Yeah, it's gonna throw itself away. Wake up! Wake up! Wake up! Sing it, wake up! We love
The forest cop showed up and closed down the Green Bridge camp and evicted the forest defenders, who set up camp several miles up the river on BLM-controlled land and were promptly evicted from there. It appeared as though the energy of the Biscuit defenders was at a low ebb, but some people remain downright enthusiastic.
Hi, I'm Annette Roche. I'm with the Illinois Valley Enthusiasts, and never have I had such a great honor but to sit down with these lovely women, over 20 of us, on March 14th on the Green River Bridge to make our statement in solidarity with this forest. Oh my gosh, you're never going to find a greater group of human beings than those that are willing to put their bodies on the line to stand for the universal reality that these are living, regenerating forests, and we hope to bring the message to the world that these forests are not dead, they're regenerating, and that fire was a natural experience. We have a lot of concerns about our future economy. It is so critically important that the economy develop in a manner that is regional and biosustaining. 90% of the visitors that pass through this area are on their way between Crater Lake and the Redwoods. And some of them stop in this area and many of them don't. And they're not going to come to see stumpfield plantations. They're coming to see naturally regenerating forests.
Do you remember this gentle free spirit dancing at the Green Bridge rally? Well, she became known to me by her forest name, Wildwood Flower. Wildwood was arrested as she stood up alone on this rain-soaked forest access road to challenge the patently dubious legality of the closure.
Yeah, let the loggers through. Don't let peaceful. Big man. Arrest the women. Let the loggers go through.
Asking you to step back across the closure line.
Open our roads, open our forests.
Open our roads. Open our forests. This is the public land. It's not BLM's land. It's the public land. Why are our forests closed?
I'm not the BLM land.
You're the Forest Service. Answer her. Answer why it's closed.
Managing the forest. Managing.
Officer Williamson.
Ah, Williamson, huh? You told he wants to know why his public land is closed.
Yeah.
You could explain.
Yeah, we all want to know. Yeah, we all want to know. We all want to know.
What's your answer?
Retreat!
We're very concerned about the tax dollars being spent on an illegal logging sale when we're looking at potentially another catastrophically high risk for fire this year, another catastrophic high fire risk year. And our concern there is that we should be seeing thinning going on within the interface zones between the communities and the forest. Not this assault deep into our wilderness in areas that ought to be left to recover naturally. In fact, they are increasing our fire risk. The damages to our taxpayer dollars, my goodness, when you consider that this project has the potential to cost over $40 million in costs just to make roads, and that dollar represents a higher figure than what the timber would be worth.
Logging in this forest is generally done in accordance with strict rules against logging in wet conditions to prevent the spread of the waterborne root rot disease that affects the Port Orford cedar. But as we are seeing, rules don't apply when there is money to be made, and the logging of Fiddler Mountain continues at full speed in the rain and snow.
But this bark is so wet I can squeeze water out of it. It rained buckets this weekend, but they were still in here working, which just means that the disease on their boots and their tires are just going to infect the other Port Orford cedar that are downstream from here.
Once again, the Forest Service and the logging company demonstrate their complete contempt for the long-term health of this forest.
So we are entering the 4th week of the civil disobedience stage of the campaign to stop the largest logging project in modern history. And we are out here on Highway 99 having a rally to keep up the public presence of opposition to this timber sale. The log trucks began rolling yesterday. Silver Creek Timber started pulling out trees in the rain, bringing them up to Roseburg Forest Products. We've long said that they're a front company for Roseburg and Columbia helicopters, and indeed yesterday we saw that to be the case. So we are reconnoitering right now. There's 2 court cases have made substantial movement forward in the last couple days. So the people are coming from far and wide. We're enjoying a lot of national support. There's plans in the works for a national day of action.
So what we're going to do is ask everybody to move on the outside of the crime scene. These cars down here, they're made on the other side of those vehicles.
Can I just ask what you're afraid of? Why are you trying to hide from the public? You're a public servant, aren't you?
Why are you covering up your badge? Why don't you identify yourself?
What I saw was J.M.A.
Hi, my name's Thicket. I'm out here at the Biscuit Timber Sale. They're out here defending the forest to make sure that beautiful areas like this never get destroyed or will ever be cut or chopped again. Because from my heart, I honestly have a true connection to these areas, and I honestly feel that everybody else also should have a connection to these areas. Just the other day, I involved myself in a bipod sit on 8 Dollar Road where we held up logging traffic for 5 hours. And as I was there, the LEOs came over, asked me several questions. I told them how the structure worked, which was 2 poles suspended next to a car with a single line that wrapped through the sunroof, attached to a carabiner. It was extremely effective. They didn't know how to deal with it. They ended up calling in a cherry picker to come get me down.
While the resistance continued along the Illinois River, Pax and his pals from Stumptown Earth First delivered yet another message from the wilderness to U.S. Forest Service Regional Headquarters in downtown Portland, Oregon's largest city.
Got a statement for Indie Media?
Yeah. We've complained and we've complained and we've used their methods. I'm done with their methods. We're taking it to their front door.
I love to see stuff like this because it makes it proves to me that people do care about, you know, issues that are going on in the world.
Stop logging the biscuit! 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 Stop logging the biscuit!
I'll let you all know that millions and millions of dollars of your tax dollars are being spent to log old growth and roadless forests in southern Oregon right now. That's millions of dollars that could be going to actually protecting communities from fire, regenerating and restoring forests, but instead it's being spent going straight into the pockets of the timber industry. We are pissed and we should make a big stink about what is going on right now. And I want everyone to realize what is at stake. This is some of the last wild forests in this country.
You're great. You make us want to smash the state. Thanks for climbing up that rope. You're awesome. You're great. You make us want to smash the state. Thanks for climbing up that rope. You're awesome. You're great. You make us want to smash the state. Woo!
We're with you, man.
You'll be all right. You're doing really awesome, and I'll tell you,
Oh my God.
when you get out. Keep breathing. Keep breathing. You're doing really well, buddy. Stay strong. You're doing so awesome. We love you. Yeah. You're awesome. We love you. Be careful with his arm. Be careful with his arm. Be careful with his arm.
The pyramid's down though.
Hello, my name's Joan Norman. I'm 72 years old and I got out of jail yesterday. I've been in jail for 2 weeks for sitting on the bridge trying to protect the fiddler timbers from being completely destroyed. It's all I know to do because the people destroying the forest have all these laws to protect them from me. But I have no law except my body sitting down in front of the log trucks. That's all I have left, so I must do it. And I'm wearing a shirt that is from the Siskiyou Defenders that they gave to me in 1995 when we were trying to protect the Sugarloaf from China Left. And in those days, the young people inspired me like they always have. I've been in the civil rights movement, I've been in the anti-war movement, and when I get discouraged, I look at these young faces. They're always the same. They have bright eyes, they have a determined face, and they're so articulate. And they give me spirit, they give me energy. I can't get old when I'm around this. They want to defend their forest, and they will. We got our strength from those that have gone before, and we're going to give our strength to those coming after us. I have this shirt, it's 10 years old. It's when we were defending the Siskiyous in 1995. And I want to pass it down to the next generation so they can wear it because they're defending the Siskiyous. And I'm going to give it to Laurel Sutherland, who is a representative of the young people here. And I want to take the shirt off and put it on him because he's the new generation Siskiyou Forest Defender. The shirt says Siskiyou Forest Defenders. It's from 1995 when we fought for the Sugarloaf, when we fought for China Left in this same beautiful forest. And on the back of the shirt is a Hopi Indian prophecy from years ago. It says, when the earth has been ravaged and the animals are dying, a tribe of people from all races, creeds and colors will put their faith in deeds, not words, to make the land green again. They shall be known as the warriors of the rainbow protectors of the environment.
So we're gathered here today on the Illinois River at 6 Mile Campground on Illinois River Road. This is the new public encampment that's been set up. It's the last day of March, and starting tomorrow, April 1st, we are going to be hosting a Skillshare training camp. We're asking people to come from all over. We're going to be having everything from direct action skills and rope climbing and those kind of skills to media trainings, legal trainings. We're going to talk about the natural environment, the history of the Biscuit Fire Project. We're going to have a kids' day. And we're going to have, for a full week, from April 1st to the 9th, we're asking people to come, share their skills, and we're going to post these.
I'll be here all night. Love it for those who find it. I found mine right here. It's you and me in the campfire, and the songs we love to hear. Da dum, da 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 da. I love the mountains. I love the rolling hills. I love the flowers. I love the daffodils. I love the fireside when all the lights are low. Boom de da boom de da boom de da boom. Na 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 total campfire song. Yeah.
Well, it's April 18th. It's about 7:30 in the morning. By the time I got word that there was a bipod action on here and got out, the action was now 4 hours old. The log truck's been backed up for a quarter of a mile. Tell me what's going on.
Oh, we got here about 3:20 this morning. They had they got about 3 barrels with handcuffs in the barrels. People sitting in the middle of the road, and then they got a tripod system set up with a person in the top of it. They just got us blocked momentarily. We'll still get a full day's work in.
Yeah.
The helicopter will fly the rest of the day, all day, and this yard will go, and we'll still truck logs and cut logs, and it's just a slight delay.
Yeah. So how do you consider this? Just kind of a nuisance? Or what?
It's more of a nuisance. I mean, it always costs us a little bit of money, but it's one of those things that it's the project's still going to go on.
Yeah. Well, how do you feel about what the statement is that they're trying to make about the project up there?
I think it's acid.
Who gives a damn anyway? Need to know who gives a damn anyway? Break down now. Break down.
It's got jail, right?
Hey, hey, bipod sitter.
Hey there, how you doing?
How you doing? My name's Pat.
Hey Pat, I'm Mookie.
Hey, tell me about your bipod set. Let me turn around here and get you in the sun.
Well, I was actually just reflecting on how hilarious it is that one of my charges is interrupting an agricultural operation. Well, in fact, while I was being held, it was our farm that's the true agricultural operation that was being interrupted, which is a beautiful organic farm. I was just kind of reflecting on that, and
break down now. Break down.
They dropped the pod on it! finding the humor, the comedy in it. It's really nice to be out, you know, and sitting up in the bipod was a really wonderful thing. It felt really empowering to be here with all the people, you know, that were locked down in the barrels and be part of such a great movement, you know, and it just felt great.
Yeah.
Jail sucked, and like it always does, and here we are.
Today new name is Jailbird for the moment. I came down here to just sort of pinch hit, to jump in the trenches with the rest of the people. So I just come down here and stand on the line, take my arrest. I'm also down here with IMC to get some stories and interviews of locals.
Come on, tell me your story, man.
Jailbird number 2. Yeah, just got out of jail for being locked in a barrel. Trying to block the road from logging on Elder Mountain. Try to keep one of the helicopters out of there. So we did it for 4 hours. Pretty successful.
Well, you know, we've just begun.
This administration is poised to tilt the balance from protecting the lands to aggressive logging and changing the character of this area forever. So if one were to change the emphasis for the Siskiyou Wild Rivers area, it can be done, and it can be done through the creation of a national conservation area or a national monument. And that focus would be on biodiversity protection and fire risk reduction. That's what we would like to see happen with the Siskiyou Wild Rivers.
But as we have seen, this Bush Forest Service, now actively seeking to undo any protection for roadless areas and old-growth reserves across the United States, continues to make the degradation of the Siskiyou Wild Rivers its precedent-setting model for the nation. The chainsaws still roar in the wild Siskiyous. The big trees at Fiddler and Berry Sales continue to fall as the process of converting this wilderness into tree farms continues. The obvious goal of this Forest Service is to degrade the wilderness qualities of this entire area to the point where it will no longer qualify for national protection as a national conservation area. The goal of this community, whose long-term health depends upon it, is to see the Siskiyou Wild Rivers protected forever for all generations of Americans, present and yet to come. This great national treasure deserves nothing less, and nothing less is acceptable.
You know, there's been a lot of people that have been arrested, and the risks are, you know, for them to get arrested again are growing, and so, you know, we need more people out here to continue the fight.
You guys have seen us trying to protect our forests here in Oregon. You've seen all we've done and the brave young people that have come to help us. And we would like to just ask anyone that's hearing this, hearing my voice now, come and help us. We need your help to protect our beautiful forest. Anybody that's ever walked in a forest knows what I mean. And if you'll come help us, we can win this thing.
Right now, history is being made in Southern Oregon's Siskiyou Mountains, and the people of this area are calling on you to come help us in this important fight against the Bush administration's anti-environmental agenda.
Hello again, my name is Stacy and this is my baby Tabor. And he was born 2 weeks after we stood on the bridge together to defend the ancient forest here. And I would like to take this opportunity to invite you to come stand with us and protect this sacred place we live in.
We need to stand up and to protect what we have. And if this is the only way we have to do it, then let's get in there and let's support these people and let's help them. Let's stand beside them and let's try to protect what we have. We have to do it together. And I hope that you get this message, because we need to do a better job. We need to be together on this and have a united front. And I pray that you that hear this, we need you out there to be that voice, to take care of what the Creator has given us. You need to stand up too and be that voice and try to stop this spiritual blindness. Please join us. We thank you. Oh.
Time of hurls. Here is where they made a stand, ready to do whatever each day demands. Part of the plan. This is the time of hurls. Here is where they made a choice. Here is where they will give a forest a voice. These are the few, these are the reasons. Here's where they'll give it all in the last hours, for those big timbers fall.